Hello, I'm Mr. Weird, and I like making weapons in Rec Room. So, today we're going to be making an RPG for your games. Quick little thing though, I actually learned mostly how to make this from a video from BVR. So, go check that video out. It's called, Programming My Subscribers' Games for Free. So, yeah, go check that out. Alright, let's start. So, before we actually start doing stuff, we're going to have to need a couple things so we can get those out the way so we don't have to spawn anything in later. So we're going to start off with a trigger handle. Freeze that. Next up, we need a square platform. This will be useful later. Just going to need this or a container of any size, but we're going to need that. We're also going to need another object. We're going to configure this one and set its physics to physical. Other stuff is pretty simple. A vector component with the trigger handle. Another component of any type, but I'm going to use another vector. We're also going to need 2 clamps, one to go with the trigger handle, and one to go with the ammo. And finally, a trigger volume. Alright, now that we have all the stuff, we can actually get to programming. So with the circuits, I'm actually going to split it up into 2 different areas. The one that shoots the ammo and the one that makes the ammo explode. First of all, we're going to clamp the trigger handle to the vector. Okay, so now that we have that done, we're going to clamp... Sorry, I'm stick drift. I'm going to clamp the physical object to the trigger volume. Oh. Right, anyways, the first step to getting this to work is to spawn the ammo in front of the vector. We're going to first do that by configuring the object. I'm going to go all the way down. Can modify with circuits, has to be enable on. And now we're also going to have to give it a tag. Now the tag can be anything. I'm just going to name it ammo. Remember to press that little plus. Okay. Now we're going to get a get position chip. A rec room object get first with tag. And a set position chip. So now that we have all this together, let's start getting it all set up. First of all, we have to, on the rec room object get first with tag, we have to set the value to whatever you named your ammo. So I set it right there. Now that we have that, we're going to hook the vector component to this little yellow chip right here. We're going to get it into the get position, and the position is going to go into the position on the set position. The rec room object get first with tag is going to go into the target of set position. And now, when primary action pressed, goes into the set position. Alright, if you have done it correctly, then you should be able... There! It spawns it right in front of it. So now, we're going to have to make it so it launches forward. Now we need it to launch forward. So what we're going to do is we're going to get a velocity add chip. Alright, so now that we have that, we're going to hook up the rec room object to get first with tag. We're going to hook it up to the target. The velocity is going to come from the vector component. I'm going to set it to there. Now, you can set whatever value you want it to go, but basically the multiplier is how much it's going to go, and the maximum speed is how fast it can go before it can reach the maximum. So what I like to do is I like to set it to 20, and the maximum speed to 25. So now that we have that, we're just going to hook up the set position to the add velocity. So now that we have that, it sends it flying. Now, for it to explode. Now, we're actually going to step away from all of this and go to the second set of circuits. I actually forgot to tell you to get it, but we actually also need an explosion emitter. Alright, so now that we have everything, we're going to have to actually tag the ground. Basically, what I like to do, this is completely optional, but basically, I like to tag the ground so some objects, like other guns or props, when the trigger volume hits that, it doesn't explode. But if it hits the tagged object, it explodes. So, I'm going to do that real quick. Alright. Now, we need another Rec Room object to get first with tag. Then we're going to tag it, whatever you tagged the object that you're going to explode. Oh yeah, it also interferes if you have a skin for the trigger handle. It also interferes with the skin, so you'll need to set it forward if you don't want to have the get first with tag over here. So along with that, we actually need to get an if has tag. So let's do it. First of all, an object entered, hook it up to the if has tag. And we're going to hook the target to the object that's entered. Now we need a set position and a get position as well. Along with that, we also need another Rec Room object to get first with tag, and we're going to keep it as ammo. So you can just clone this one over here. So what we're going to do is the if has tag with the one that says has tag, we're going to put it into the set position. The target is going to be the explosion emitter, and we're going to get the position of the Rec Room object get first with tag, and the position is going to be that. So if you did it right, which I didn't unfreeze it. If you did it right, the explosion emitter should set wherever the object is. Now let's actually get it to where it explodes and the ammo disappears. First of all, we're just going to do the set position and we're going to make it explode in the explosion emitter. Now we're actually going to need another pair of get positions and set positions. Now, this is where this vector comes in hand, or whatever you have there. We're going to hook this yellow chip up with that. We're going to put it into the target of the get position. And we're just going to hook the position up to the set position. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to get the target. We're just going to set it to the ammo. Now, after it explodes, set position. So basically what that does is after this explodes, it teleports it over here. And because this platform isn't named the tag, then it won't explode. So let's see. It spawns there, and it explodes. now we have a fully working rocket launcher in Rec Room. So let me put this under the map. Alright, now we can freely explode it wherever we want. I'll do how to set the damage of it in another video, but yeah, this is how you make a rocket launcher in Rec Room. So yeah, anyways, that's how you make that's how you make a working rocket launcher in Rec Room. If you do want to see more weapon stuff like grenades and other stuff, then hit the subscribe and like button. And I'll see you in another video.